Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guests today are three of the faculty members from the Five Seasons Chamber Music Festival, which, spoiler alert, involves a lot more than chamber music. But Rich Wagor is here. Rich is the director of the fest and has been for a long time. Welcome.
Great to be here, Dennis.
And from the faculty, Phil O'Connor, back from Los Angeles area, which is where you're based, and you've been come back for this almost every year for quite a while.
Been a couple years in a row, yeah. Thanks, Dennis.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me back.
Always glad to have you in Iowa.
Appreciate
And Brett Copeland, Brett, you're on the faculty at UNI.
Yes,
and,
I am.
You just finishing your how many years?
I just finished my first year, ready to start year 2.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Where do you come from originally?
I'm originally from Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
But went to school at UNI, left, and now it's a little bit of a homecoming.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's the other thing about UNI. They grab you and they don't let go.
yeah, it's a great community to be in.
Yeah, it's and super excellent program there. So, Rich, the Five Seasons Chamber Festival, like I said, I kind of hinted that there's a lot of other things going on besides what normally when you think of chamber music, we think of a somewhat limited palette of instruments and instrumentation, but you guys have totally blown that out of the water by doing a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's gotten bigger and smaller in size over time, but what started out as simply mostly a string quartet / string chamber music program has really started to include a lot of other things. We are up to now having 3 performances. One will be on Thursday night, June 27th, Friday night, June 28th, and we also have a performance on June 29th at the Shakespeare Garden. All of these things revolve around chamber music in some manner. So what started out as merely small ensemble work at the beginning of our time, which actually this year is our 20th anniversary, would have been last year other than the COVID pause. But what started out with just small string groups now also includes brass ensembles, woodwind ensembles, jazz combos, big band, orchestra, and I'm probably missing some things.
There's dance, right?
There's dance and singing that goes along with the performance at the Shakespeare Garden on June 29th. And that has been happening for the last couple of years. There'll be some readings. We'll be doing some period singing, folk dancing, and there will be musical arrangements of some Old English folk tunes.
Wow. What's the age range of students that you get?
Also, an interesting thing, what started out as mostly probably teenagers has now expanded to the point that we usually have a participant that is between 8 and 10 years on the youngest side and somewhere in excess of 80 years old with community members that also participate.
Wow.
Yeah.
So lifetime learners.
Yeah, and it's fun. The biggest thing that is really neat this year is we have gotten a much larger percentage of interns involved. So those people are more like, at the end of their high school career, going into their college career, they're getting to have some really great one-on-one time with the faculty, working on technique and a lot of musicality work as well. And then we also are at about, I think we're just about at 37 to 40 participants, 15 interns, and 24 faculty members. So it really becomes a thing where we are working closely side by side, and it's a lot more contact with professional players than some younger or amateur players get to do.
Right. Well, you're practically one-on-one.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. The big band is crazy. It goes from a gentleman named David Liliadal, who's a nice pianist in the area and also a piano tuner, who is playing piano, obviously, in that band, to students that are in middle school and a horn section that consists of probably, I would say, about 17 to about 80 years old. So it's and they're swinging, so it's fun. It's fun.
Well, and everything is on the Kirkwood campus now.
It is. So everything will be in Thursday and Friday, I should say, will be in Ballantyne Auditorium. We used to do one concert on Fridays for quite a while, and that ended up being such a marathon that it seemed like a good idea for everybody's let's just say frame of mind to split it into 2 concerts.
Yeah. I've definitely been there.
Yeah.
So Phil, like I said, great to have you back on the faculty this year. So as you're working in all these different genres, you're doing classical, chamber, jazz. Is it a little dizzying sometimes having to shift gears?
No, it's like it reflects the daily experience I have living in Los Angeles. So that's what's incumbent upon us as musicians there. So I think it's just nice to make people learn that could be part of their normal routine, if there is normal to that. So when you get to the point where you're playing a lot of different styles of music, it's something to embrace.
Yeah, it's got to be fun with the age range too, of getting to catch kids who are just beginning their musical journey, and then people who are coming back to it later in life just purely for the love of it.
Oh, it's amazing when you encounter people for the sole purpose of being there for the music. We learn from each other. I've always learned more from other people than I hope that they learn from me. But to try to pass those things along, I think is part of the humility of music. So there's always something to learn and share.
Brett, this is your first year on the faculty.
This is my first year. Yes.
Okay, so kind of got tossed into this whole big thing that's going on. Kind of give me your reactions from walking in and seeing this with fresh eyes for the first time.
It's a really energetic environment, and everyone seems really excited and up for anything, which I love. I love that energy. Just kind of walking through the hallways, you see somebody and start talking, and then it leads to, hey, we should read this piece. How about tonight you come over, we'll read through these charts and see what happens. It's like, this is awesome. I think this is what the festival is supposed to be. People hanging out, making connections, and then making music together. And there's like very little, like, I'm the faculty, you're the participant. It's everyone, we're just here to have a good time, create something that wasn't here before, create a new musical experience. And I'm digging it.
Well, Rich, you mentioned that you've got your interns who are obviously helping run the camp, but they are getting to spend some instruction time too. So it's also a musical learning experience.
Right. It's pretty exciting. It's also just funny, like, as I do this for longer and longer, the connections for people get more and more concrete, to the point, like, I've got now someone who reminds me a lot of my freshman roommate from college, because it's his son. It's a little uncanny, but he's here and has just got to the University of Iowa last year, started working on trombone seriously, and has switched over to bass trombone. He's getting to work one-on-one with Matt Kowalski, who is in from Chicago, who is in a band called the Lowdown Brass Band. That's
they're great.
So they're really killing it. So he's sitting there, and we get to. It's like, okay, kid, you're gonna get put through your paces now. Time to get on it.
You thought summer was gonna be easy.
Yeah, right. And yet, like, it's obvious that all the participants are just having a blast, like trying to stretch out and do some new things.
Well, obviously, you mentioned that over the years you've added different genres and voice and dance is a part of this. How else have things changed in the 20 years of the festival?
Well, I mean, it's gotten easier and easier to kind of find people who want to collaborate together that are maybe what, like, earlier in my career I would have called crossover artists or in the cracks between different genres or something like that. But I think we're seeing the music world change so much and be such a different type of environment for creating art and working together, that it's pretty interesting. Where we started out with mostly classical musicians, I'm not sure that definition even really applies as much anymore.
Hopefully not.
Yeah, right. So this year we've got, like, my friend Alex Minchik is here. Help me remember people, because, like, I'm literally going through my list of 24 people as we speak. But Alex is here. Several of us went to Manhattan School of Music together. We've got, I did. Phil and I went to school there. We've got Alex Minchik, who is on composition faculty at Northwestern, and he's here as a tenor sax player and working with some composition students and doing some jazz improv work with people. We've got Robert Rucker, who actually went to school with us out there too, playing percussion. Excellent drummer, really can swing. And Brett's here, obviously. We've got Matt Kowalski from Chicago. We've got Carmen Kassinger and Lisa Facco, who are Chicago-based freelancers violinists, and we've got Chuck Bontrager here as our viola faculty member, who also is one of the first people, maybe the first person who has gotten a doctoral degree in rock violin.
Oh.
So that's in the mix. Dave Egger's back, who has done extensive work arranging, composing, and playing cello with some pretty big names. I'm going to toot people's horns for them because sometimes they're a little too modest to do it themselves. But Dave's worked with Evanescence and some big names like Foreigner and doing things like that. And we're really happy to have him back. He's a very kind person, and he does a great job with bringing experimental improvisation out of some pretty young students who are sometimes reluctant. So we really just have this great palette of people, and I'm hearing all my friends getting mad at me for not mentioning everyone, but but I'm doing what I can. And
Too numerous to name.
Right, and we...
Another reason to come to the concert, hear some amazing music.
Yeah. So we're going to hear some interesting stuff. On Thursday is our faculty and intern concert. We're going to be playing a piece that Brett wrote for the occasion. Mm-hmm. What's the instrumentation on that?
We've got flute, clarinet, soprano saxophone, piano, and then the brass. It's trumpet, trombone, and then double bass.
Yeah, we're also going to be doing the piece that's called Bad Rap that Mr. Bontrager is presenting to us, which is for strings, orchestral percussion, and electric violin. Mr. Rucker has a piece that he's written that has strings and jazz combo, basically. And then Friday, we'll get into... Oh, we also might be doing an Anthony Braxton thing on Thursday,
nice.
Which is kind of neat because we've got several connections to Mr. Braxton with people in the faculty. So that's kind of neat. And then Friday will be student ensembles, smaller ensembles. Then we'll have the big band, string orchestra, I think, and full orchestra where we're doing a couple of movements of Swan Lake. So it covers it. Like if you're interested in becoming an aspiring freelancer and want to learn all the different things, it's not a bad place to be.
Yeah. And if something's not to your taste, just wait 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Right.
It'll be totally different.
Yeah, you'll be into something cool.
A smorgasbord of musical offerings.
And what's is there a ticket price or reservation or anything for the concerts?
No, the concerts are free. We have a suggested donation kind of deal going on where, if you like what you see, you want to be part of it in the future, want to get on our mailing list, want to find out about it. One of the things that we are doing this year for the first time is I'm working on some grant writing, and we're trying to get it so that we're presenting our faculty throughout the year a little more than just having the... Mm-hmm. So I'll be looking at... I'm working on a couple things. We did just get a grant that officially made it to the panel stage, so that's promising. And we'll be looking at hopefully doing some partnerships with people more like on a quarterly basis coming up.
Oh, well, the good news, we'll be seeing and getting to hear these musicians throughout the year. The bad news, Phil, is that your gig will be in February.
I'll come back for that.
No, that's actually Dave Egger's gig that we're doing in February.
Yeah, he'll drive out.
Yeah.
Well, this is this is one of our favorite events of the season, just as because it involves musicians of all backgrounds and ages, and gets them dip their toe in the water in so many different things. And I'm always glad to see it keep going and to grow, and happy to have it here on the Kirkwood campus too.
It's great being out here. This facility has really changed it. We bounced between a lot of places, and everyone has always been very welcoming everywhere we've been. However, there were times that now that we're at Kirkwood, we realize that we have a stable place that can handle any numbers that we have, and we're not trying to. It just doesn't take quite as much work. And
everything is right here.
Right. Yeah.
Practice space.
Right. Air conditioning.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Climate control for the
performance
piano when we get to rehearse with the piano is
Right.
something not to take for granted.
Yeah.
Well, the concerts are this Thursday and Friday at Ballantyne Auditorium, and then the Saturday event, which will be in the Shakespeare Garden, which is being refurbished and enhanced
Yes.
at Ellis Park. And Rich, if somebody wants to just find out more about the festival in general, can they visit you on the web?
Yeah, you can go to www.fiveseasonschambermusic.com.
All right. Well, this has been a little bit of a break for the three of you, getting to sit down for a minute, and but back to the salt mines, I guess, right after this.
Yeah, I think we're into full orchestra here pretty quick. So
Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming by, and good luck with the rest of the week.
all right, thanks,
Thanks,
Dennis.
Dennis. Thanks for your hospitality. We appreciate it.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:30, or download the podcast. Watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture using your favorite podcast player. You can also watch our videos. They're on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. I'm Dennis Green. I'll talk to you later.